Today, I will be reviewing a review from edgeonline.com. This differs from my last review in that it involves a game I actually like. Sonic Generations. So, for those who don't know, what I do in this segment on my channel is simple. I take a review of a game and critique said review based on several factors. Most particularly, the way it relates to gamers. Because we've all read those reviews that are just total bollocks. What I find amusing about the way the reviewer opens is that it is immediately clear that they are biased and don't like the modern generation of Sonic. Take this quote for instance. Sonic Generations is a reminder of both what you adore and abhor in a series that's had its simple joys diluted by flash in the pan, iterations, and ideas. Firstly, I'm aware that it's a tool of reviewing to refer to your audience with personal pronouns, but I'm sorry, you state that we adore and abhor aspects of the series, and then connect that to your own view of what it has become, i.e. diluted. That, sir, is a load of shit. I'll state right now that a lot of modern Sonic games have been poor. 06, Unleashed, that Black Knight thing, and the racing games were all pretty bad in my opinion. Colors had its upside, but ultimately couldn't match the original or Dreamcast era of Sonic titles. But I find the concept of modern Sonic is an agreeable one. He's grown up, gotten faster, thinner, a little greener in the eyes. The stages he finds himself in are more colourful and diverse than previous iterations. The newer characters, plots, and controls have had some serious issues, but I always felt like Sonic could be great again. The reviewer clearly did not feel this way. Edge's writer states, with the exception of experiments like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Chronicles, the Spiky 1 stages have always been linear. But in Generations, the added detail and on-screen activity can make progress fatally disorientating and stuttering, as a barrage of foreground and background detail clouds your vision. Firstly, the team behind Sonic Adventure clearly did not consider it an experiment. With the new Dreamcast console, they were able to expand their horizons and create the best-selling game that there ever was on that console. Secondly, those games are irrelevant. You can't keep comparing Sonic games with the older titles in terms of visuals. We live in a different time. I'm sure a sci-fi film released in the 1960s doesn't hurt your eyes as much as one released now. But so what? We should film them with the Cine Kodak Special too. Now I get it. Sonic Generations can be visually intense sometimes, but that can be said for a lot of modern games. Games this site would not be so quick to criticize. The author then states that a further frustration is the requirement to use both Sonics to unlock new worlds. For fuck's sake, holy shit on a meat grinding stick. What? Just boo want to use classic Sonic to play the game, Tough shit. The whole concept of the game is the dynamic between using the two different Sonics. You only have to play as them once each per stage. And the longest stage in the game probably won't take much more than 7 or 8 minutes. Sure, for quite a few of the boss battles you have to play as modern Sonic, but that's because his mechanics are a lot more diverse and can offer a larger experience. That's why it's modern, goddammit. Following on from saying that levels are strict and narrow, the writer claims that their hub is confusing in its openness. So if this guy can't find the obviously placed platforms and spring launchers, I guess there is no hope that we as a species will ever find a cure for cancer. Then comes more criticism, along with this quirky little statement. The few boss battles add to the burden, and suffer from poor camera placement and cruel mid-fight difficulty spikes. Sonic Generations has 7 bosses, including the mini ones. Metal Gear Rising which is part of a series well known for its boss encounters, has 11, depending on how you're counting. Even some of those are repeated. To say that this game has too few boss battles is to undermine the game's primary aspects. And mid-fight difficulty spikes? Shit, most people complain the bosses are too easy. After 3 and a bit paragraphs of mindless criticism, we get one paragraph of praise about the Sonic team's passion, the music library in the game, and the playable classic. Oh, and some of the challenge gates. Then there's this concluding paragraph that is basically just this reviewer's inner child fighting for attention. They talk about how it offers a passing glimpse of Sonic's early days, where the games had rhythm, while the rest is best viewed as a document of how Sega has struggled to stay true to the original template. It closes with this final sentence. Instead of the sweet chords of nostalgia, Green Hill Zone's chirpy tunes sound like a fanfare for the departed. Brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it? No. So, okay, here is my main problem with this review, and I briefly mentioned it at the beginning. The writer clearly cannot separate this game from earlier titles. They cannot understand its nuances and criticize areas that most fans and other reviewers saw as delightful additions. Sometimes you need to smother your inner child with a pillow, say fuck it to nostalgia, and look at something from a whole new angle. Many have described Sonic Generations as a love letter from Sega to Sonic fans. It combines what is so great about all Sonic games, from the original to the modern, with plenty of additional flair. You can criticize its story, not that this reviewer does, the lengthy and monotonous final battle, not that this reviewer does, as well as its all too common load screens. Once again, not that this reviewer does. But as a whole, Sonic Generations was a triumph, and in my less than humble opinion, one of the best additions to the franchise yet. This review, on the other hand, is just a load of tosh written by someone who doesn't like change and won't accept that their speedy little friend has grown up without them. This review gave Sonic Generations a 5 out of 10, and I give this review a 2 out of 10.